Do you believe in myths? Or that stories are true? You know what? In fact, it doesn't really matter what you believe in. I don't believe in either, because I know it's true.
2 months had passed since that fateful night. No one in my family had spoken about what happened that evening. I didn't mind. I had already decided to uncover the truth myself. All I needed was the right moment, and that moment came during the monthly deep cleaning of our home. This cleaning ritual might sound strange to you. It was different from regular cleaning because we used things we wouldn't normally use, like apple cider vinegar. Its sharp scent lingered in my nose long after. My mother and grandmother avoided using their usual cleaning supplies like bleach, white soap, or detergent during these cleanings. Instead, the entire house was scrubbed with apple cider vinegar from windows and doors to even the bathroom and toilet. They also added a pinch of rock salt to the vinegar. Everyone in the house bathed before evening, pouring apple cider vinegar over themselves afterward. Small glasses filled with a mixture of apple cider vinegar and salt were placed by the windows in the bathrooms and toilets. Even the exteriors of windows and doors were cleaned with the same mixture, and rock salt was scattered across the yard. But that wasn't all. Once the cleaning was done, they burned bay leaves in the center of the house. Then, sage was burned as incense and carried throughout every corner of the house. I should mention that the type of sage used for this ritual grows naturally in California's wild landscapes, particularly in the southwest USA and northwest Mexico. Native Americans in these regions use it for similar purification rituals. Yes, the monthly cleaning day was the perfect time to play the spy. My disappearance wouldn't be noticed much amidst the chaos. I helped my mother and grandmother with the cleaning, wiping down areas they couldn't reach alongside my sister. If anything was moved out of place during my search, I could blame it on the cleaning. That way, neither my grandfather nor my father would suspect a thing. The best time to execute my plan was right after the vinegar cleaning and just as the bay leaves and sage incense were being burned. While my mother and grandmother began the incense ritual on the veranda, I could sneak upstairs and carry out my mission before they reached the second floor. My sister was too young to be involved in the operation. I trusted her, but I couldn't risk her letting something slip by mistake. I told her we'd play a game. I would sing about everything I cleaned and applaud myself afterward. My sister's job was to loudly announce each room's name when my mother and grandmother entered and left it saying something like, "Finally, the living room is done. I'm the incense girl." Then she'd applaud herself too. This way, I'd always know which room they were in. Before they reached the stairs, my sister's final announcement would be, "It's finally done. I'm the incense girl. I'll climb the stairs 2 at a time. I'm the incense girl. If I didn't put everything back in its place, by then I'd be caught." Finally, the cleaning was over, My mother and grandmother started burning the bay leaves in the living room. They slowly moved through each room with the sage incense. The moment they began, I tiptoed into the study. Where was that notebook? It took me a while to find it. My grandfather had hidden it among the blank papers he used for his typewriter. He had crafted a box out of the stack, cutting it just large enough to fit the notebook. From the outside, even if you removed most of the papers on top, all you could see was blank paper. There wasn't just one stack of paper, though. There were multiple piles spread across the shelves. It wasn't a particularly clever hiding spot, but for someone unaware of the notebook's existence, it was a tedious and tricky place to search. The study was filled with books, documents typed on his typewriter, and various official papers. Still, why go to such lengths to hide just one notebook? Never mind. I slowly opened its cover. Surprisingly, the notebook seemed much newer than the stack of papers hiding it. This couldn't be the only one. Would this notebook answer my questions or confuse me further? It didn't matter. I was determined to read it no matter what. Finally, I turned to the first page. But this wasn't a book. It wasn't even a typical notebook. It was a diary my grandfather had kept, and judging by the date, it was relatively new. I didn't have time to read it all. I needed to quickly find the date of my sister's birthday and start from that night to piece things together. What bizarre things my grandfather had written. I wanted to read everything, but I didn't have the luxury of time. I couldn't get caught. Some pages had been torn out. Maybe he didn't like what he wrote, or perhaps he had only taken notes and discarded them. Or maybe he had been afraid of what he had written. Could it be connected to what he said to my father that night? I got so close this time. I'm losing my mind. You wouldn't believe what I've discovered. If they didn't need to hide this from people, I'd go out and tell the whole city what I've seen. Because people have the right to know, said my grandpa. So, what had he found that made him tear out pages from his diary? Let me read the first part to you.
If I hadn't made it back tonight, I could have lost my entire family. My grandchildren are to blame. But if this isn't revealed to everyone, it might be too late. And unfortunately, I'm too old to stop them anymore. I should have married earlier. My grandchildren would be adults by now. Last year, after the disaster we faced, I warned my son. But as always, he was too busy with government work to care about his family. A man who can't protect his family can't protect his country. I nearly shot my grandchild. My grandchild isn't ready yet, I know that. But I suspect my grandchild is starting to realize something. If they hadn't gone into shock that night and taken one more step toward me, I would have had to kill them. My grandchild isn't ready for this responsibility yet.
No way. My grandfather would have had to kill me.
Finally, the living room is done. I'm the Incense girl.